He's known as the charming and sharp-witted antiques dealer with an eye for hidden treasures, a man who could walk into a dusty old barn and walk out with history in his hands. For years, Drew Pritchard, the star of Salvage Hunters, has captivated audiences across the world with his love for restoration, design, and the stories behind forgotten objects. His television show made him one of Britain's most beloved reality personalities, celebrated for his knowledge, charisma, and infectious passion for the past. But behind the cheerful smile and confident demeanor, Drew's life has been filled with heartbreak, scandal, and personal tragedy that few fans ever truly saw coming. This is the untold story of Drew Pritchard, the man behind Salvage Hunters, and the painful realities that nearly destroyed him. Drew Pritchard was born in Conwy, North Wales in 1970, into a modest working-class family. From a young age, he had an obsession with finding value in what others threw away. While other children were playing football, Drew was rummaging through scrapyards and old garages, fascinated by the craftsmanship of the past. His father, an engineer and car enthusiast, taught him how to restore and repair things, a lesson that would shape the rest of his life. Drew's childhood wasn't glamorous, but it was full of curiosity and learning. He developed an appreciation for detail, quality, and history, things that would later define his career. By his teenage years, Drew had already started dealing antiques locally, buying and selling architectural pieces, furniture, and vintage objects. He wasn't just chasing money. He genuinely loved the thrill of discovery. Every item had a story, and Drew seemed to have a gift for bringing those stories back to life. Eventually, he founded DP Classics, his own restoration business, which would become a haven for antique collectors and designers alike. But his real breakthrough came when television producers discovered him and his unique personality. In 2011, Salvage Hunters premiered on the Discovery Channel, and it instantly became a hit. The concept was simple but addictive. Drew and his loyal sidekick T traveled across the UK and Europe searching for antiques and collectibles to restore and resell. Audiences fell in love with Drew's eye for beauty and his dry, often sarcastic humor. He could spot the potential in a broken lamp, an old pub sign, or a rusted car part. His passion for rescuing forgotten objects resonated deeply with viewers. Over the next several years, Drew became a household name. His business flourished, and he opened Drew Pritchard Antiques in Conwy, turning his small Welsh shop into a destination for collectors from around the world. He was respected not just as a TV personality, but as a genuine expert, someone who understood the artistry of the past in a world obsessed with the new. But while his professional life was booming, his personal life was starting to crack under pressure. Behind the scenes, Drew's marriage to Rebecca Pritchard, his co-star and business partner, began to fall apart. The two had built their empire together, sharing a passion for antiques and restoration. On screen, they seemed like the perfect team, calm, professional, and deeply in sync. Off-screen, however, tensions were growing. The demands of fame, the stress of constant filming, and the pressure of running a business took their toll. By 2017, the couple's marriage ended in divorce. The news shocked fans who had admired them as one of television's most grounded duos. Rebecca continued to appear on Salvage Hunters, but their separation cast a long shadow over Drew's life. He was heartbroken but determined to stay professional. The show went on, and so did he. But the public didn't see how deeply the split affected him. Unfortunately, Drew's troubles didn't stop there. Shortly after his divorce, he found himself caught in a media storm that nearly destroyed his reputation. Reports began surfacing of a highly publicized scandal involving his personal life, which made national headlines in the UK. According to tabloids, Drew had allegedly been involved in an extramarital affair years earlier, and when the story resurfaced, it caused chaos in his small Welsh community. The situation escalated dramatically when he was allegedly assaulted in a local pub by a man connected to the affair. The confrontation made headlines, and Drew became the subject of gossip and controversy. Overnight, the charming antiques expert who everyone admired became the center of scandal and ridicule. It was a devastating blow to his image, his relationships, and his peace of mind. For a while, Drew disappeared from public view, keeping a low profile as rumors swirled. Fans were confused, unsure what to believe, but those close to him said the ordeal took a serious emotional toll. He had gone from being celebrated as a national treasure to being hounded by tabloids and whispered about in his own town. His once private life had become public property, and it left deep scars. The tragedy of Drew Pritchard isn't just about fame or scandal. It's about how quickly success can turn sour, and how fragile happiness can be when the spotlight becomes too bright. Even as he tried to move forward, the emotional aftermath lingered. Friends say that Drew became more withdrawn, focusing on his work and his passion for restoration as a way to heal. Then came another heartbreak. In 2022, Drew announced that his beloved antique shop in Conway would be closing its doors for good. Fans were stunned. For more than 30 years, the shop had been his pride and joy, filled with the rare finds that made his name. In an emotional social media post, Drew confirmed that the decision was final. He thanked everyone for their support over the years, but explained that it was time to step away from the day-to-day retail business. For Drew, closing his shop was more than a business decision. It was the end of an era. That building wasn't just a workplace. It was his life story etched into the walls. It was where he built his dreams, met fans, and restored countless treasures. The closure marked a symbolic loss, a final goodbye to the chapter that had defined him for decades. Many fans saw it as another tragic twist in the story of a man who had already endured so much. But through all of this, Drew's love for antiques never faded. Even without his shop, he continued filming Salvage Hunters and its spin-offs, traveling across Europe in search of beauty in forgotten places. There was something poetic in that, a man picking up the broken pieces of his own life while rescuing the relics of others. Despite the controversies and heartbreak, Drew Pritchard has managed to hold on to what truly defines him: resilience. His passion, his craftsmanship, and his deep respect for history have kept him going even when life fell apart around him. Those who know him say that he's learned to live more quietly now, focusing on his family, his art, and the things that matter most. Still, there's an undeniable sadness when fans talk about Drew today. He's no longer just the witty dealer from Salvage Hunters. He's a man who has seen fame's dark side, who's lost friends, love, and peace of mind, but who still keeps moving forward. The heartbreak he's endured has humanized him even more. It's made people realize that behind the TV personality is a real man with real struggles. In interviews, Drew has occasionally hinted at how tough those years were. He's spoken about the weight of fame, the loneliness that can come with it, and the lessons he's learned about trust and privacy. He admits that success comes at a price, one that he's paid dearly. But he also says that the experiences, no matter how painful, have made him stronger. Today, Drew Pritchard continues to inspire people, not just because of his talent, but because of his perseverance. He reminds us that even when life falls apart, you can rebuild it piece by piece, just like the antiques he spent his life restoring. His story is a testament to survival, to finding beauty amid chaos, and to holding on to passion when everything else feels lost. Yes, the tragedies Drew has faced are heartbreaking: the end of a marriage, the loss of privacy, public humiliation, and the closing of a lifelong dream. But in a strange way, they've also shaped the man he is now. Wiser, calmer, and more grounded than ever. His journey shows that even when something breaks, it doesn't have to be the end. Sometimes, as Drew himself might say, it just needs a bit of restoration. The world of Salvage Hunters may look glamorous on TV, the deals, the discoveries, the laughter, but behind it all lies the story of a man who's fought hard to keep his life together. Drew Pritchard's tragedy isn't just in what he's lost, but in how much he's had to endure while staying true to who he is. As fans continue to watch him on screen, many now see him not just as an antiques dealer, but as a survivor, someone who's lived through heartbreak, scandal, and reinvention, and still comes out smiling, ready for the next find. His story is a reminder that life, much like the antiques he loves, can be worn, damaged, and fragile. But with time, care, and courage, it can be beautiful again.